Now then everybody, I hope you're all alright. I'm just doing another brief video with everything that's going on around the club at the moment, and it's been quite pleasant to have sort of Dave Hilton come out and he's done an audio interview explaining the situation, his reasons into buying the club, what his intentions are, and basically it's been a very rough week, of which he's had to take his social media platform down because of abuse and everything, which I think we can all accept. Well, particularly the vast majority of people, I would hope 99% of the people don't want to accept that somebody should be abused in such a way in any circumstances. Certainly not one with what I'm taking on board, listening to him talk. The guy seems pretty genuine. Alright, you can never be 100% certain. It's the world we live in, I'm afraid. But I'm pretty sure I'd like to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, because when you listen to the interview, some of the things that he's done, his reason for buying the club, he wants to leave it as a legacy for his family, that he did something good, you know, and like he says, and is not far wrong, you can't go into buying a football club with the thought that you're going to make money out of it. Certainly not at this level, and only for very few small cases, I suppose. People at the higher echelons of the Premiership, and you know, they can maybe make some money out of it, I suppose. But at our level, nobody's going to make any money out of it, and I think we all know that. He's had to explain evidence of the wealth that he's got to be able to have ownership of the club to the league. He explained all that, and I thought he explained it very well. He explained that he's already to the tune of £400,000 in several different payments to the taxman to clear that. He's paid something like £150,000 to £170,000 in paying 3 lots of wage bills. He says all the money that he's putting in to the club are donations. They're not going to be loans. He's promised that. I think we've got to take him on his word. It's just the way it is. He talked briefly about the situation at Bury, and I think it would appear a lot of the abuse he's been getting was from people at Bury. Things didn't go according to plan at Bury, which wasn't necessarily down to him. It just didn't work out, and people were genuinely upset, and you can understand it. We were upset when we thought we was losing our club. I sort of understand all that. I think a lot of what he said made sense. And there's always going to be things we don't like. He's trying to streamline the way it runs as a business. He's going to have to run it as a business, because you can't just keep pouring money in. So you've got to cut your cloth accordingly, so to speak. He explained some of the staff that have gone and their reasons and everything, and it wasn't as bad as some of the rumours were saying. He's explained why they may be moving some of the training facilities to Ilkeston, because it's not adequate training facilities here. The pitch at the side of the ground next to the motorway there, very, very poor drainage. The only advantage it really had was being next to the ground, but that's neither here nor there, and he explained why. They've got very good facilities for training at Ilkeston, a state-of-the-art, one of the best in the countries of artificial surfaces. What else did he say? He explained that taking players there, it's pretty much a centralised location for players that are coming from different parts of the country. Whereas if they've got a lot of players staying here and having to have lodgings in Scunthorpe, there's a cost implication there for having young players in lodgings. Lots of them, if it's more central, can maybe stay with family. The travelling and everything. Everything he said to me, I thought he sounded genuine, and I thought it just about all made sense. And while we might not like some of the things he's having to do, he's having to do it to save the club. And that's the main thing. We've got to realise that he's already done that. He's saved the club with what he's already done. It's only been here for 8 weeks. I think you need to give somebody at least a year, maybe even 2 years to be fair, to see their true intentions and then make a judgment on where we are then. And he admitted, he says sometimes he might make mistakes, but he'll put his hands up and say when he makes a mistake and whatnot. He doesn't feel he has at the moment. He's come out and he's done this interview explaining the situation, which I think will be very helpful to the vast majority of people. Probably not everybody, but again, I think that's because of the world we live in. I mean, for me, he seems a pretty decent guy, seems a pretty genuine guy. For me, because I'm a pretty political person, he may well even be a Conservative, a Tory, whatever you like to call them, and I'm not particularly fond of Conservatives and Tories, but at the end of the day, even if he's a Tory, but he's saving our club and doing good for our club, he will get my support. I mean, at the end of the day, Steve Wharton ran the club for many, many years, and he was a big Conservative. You know, I aren't going to let that come into it. I'm not going to let politics rule my thoughts on what he is or what he might not be. I mean, as far as I don't know, he might be like me. I should imagine he probably isn't. There's not many businessmen like I am, but I support what he's doing basically because if we want to save our club, then we have to listen to these people that know what they're doing. He's clearly got money because he wouldn't be doing what he's doing if he didn't, and he's been shrewd enough to be able to make money from his business interests and etc. He explained some of the things that they're going to be doing, the developments and whatnot, that'll all be helpful to the club. It'll be for helping fund the club, whether it's building. I don't know what the intention is of what they'll be building. They've not got all the plans finalised yet. He's going to try. He said he would try and set up some forums for keeping a better communication between supporters, etc. Again, all good things. Everything that's happened this week for me, after a guy's been there for 8 weeks, and you've got to think that the turmoil that Swan's left the club in, not just the playing side, the general day-to-day running of the club. He was saying it's still being run as if it was a championship club, and clearly we haven't got money coming in like it's the championship. What we need to do is all sort of back the plans. If you haven't got any evidence to any misguided stuff that he's doing, if you've not got the evidence to back it up, just please get behind the club. Try and encourage as many people as possible to get down to the club. The more people we get through those gates, the better it looks for sponsors. If we've got lots of people coming through the turnstiles, backing the football team, people, companies and businesses who want to advertise are more likely to put sponsorship in when there's a larger amount of people that are going to see the goods and services that they want to sell. And by us all supporting the management and the club generally, it has to benefit the club in the long term. It might not seem it at the moment, and yes, I think we're all resigned. He even said he accepts we're probably going to be relegated. I don't blame him or Jimmy Dean or anybody currently at the club. There's only one man to blame for the situation the club finds itself in, and that is Peter Swan. Certainly over the last 5 years, he came in and he was a false prophet, if you like. I remember when Swan first came in and we all got quite excited. We remember the plans for a new stadium and all the different things that he said. And yes, he reneged on it all. He became a nightmare for our club, and he's basically run our club into the ground. This is the man that's responsible. So anyone that's got any frustration or anger that they want to get onto Peter Swan. Don't put it onto the new management, because I feel it that they're going to move the club in the right direction. Some things may hurt. There's going to be some redundancies, etc. And that's all that's got to be sad for anybody. But again, if we need a club to survive and still maintain a certain amount of jobs, be it they might have to be part-time, but we have to accept where we are, what position we're in the football world. We're a non-league team now, and he's pledged to keep it the playing unit as professional players for as long as he's at the club. That will be the situation. Yes, other things like the club shop not going to be open as much, but I'm sure if we want to go and buy something from the shop, we can all work around the times, and if we want to purchase stuff, if it's going to be open on match day only, then that's what we do. We have to just get used to it. We're not a Premiership club with money pouring out of the seams. I liked what I had to hear from him, I've got to say, and I genuinely don't feel that he's hoodwinking us. I hope I'm not wrong, but I think it's been a good thing what he's done by coming out and saying what he's. And I want to say a big thank you to Dave Hilton and Jimmy Dean and the players, everybody that's in the club that are trying to work in the right way and have the mentality to try and keep this club alive. I want to do a thank you personally from me, but I hope I speak for 99% of the Scunthorpe United supporters. I hope that we're going to move in the right direction. Yes, we're probably going to be relegated, but next year we start again. It'll be a busy summer. I liked what I had to hear. Anyway, take care everybody. Feel free to subscribe and send any messages in. You don't have to agree. We can have debate if you want on the comments. It's very nice to have debate. Just keep it polite, I suppose. But anyway, take care everybody. Up the iron.